I just uploaded an interview with my friend Isabella, who is a long-term collaborator with me. Basically, she does all my singles artwork, and she's also created 2 animated lyrics videos for me. That interview is about the practicalities of finding and working with graphic designers or other people in creative fields. But before you watch that video, I just wanted to talk to you about why I think it's important to work with real artists and not, for example, use AI to generate your singles and albums artwork. There are 3 reasons why I think you should work with real artists, and some of them are altruistic and some of them are a bit more selfish. Now, the first one is an altruistic reason. I think it's important to support the wider creative community and economy. As musicians, we're often complaining about how we don't get paid enough for streaming and we don't get paid enough for performing at gigs. So I think if we can support other creative people, not just with exposure and stuff like that, but actual money to pay them for their skills, then we should do that. And if you're limited in budget, think about how you can possibly find people at your local college or university, because there are people there studying graphic design, studying videography, and they're looking for people to work with so that they can expand their portfolio. And just put up a notice there saying, oh, I'm a local artist, or we are in a band and we're looking for somebody to help us with graphic design or something. And I'm sure you'll be able to work within your budget and with people that will be very enthusiastic, because people that are studying those subjects, they're often really interested in working with local artists. Now, the other 2 reasons are more selfish, and the first of those is that when you are paying for an artist to create artwork for you, or a videographer, you are not just paying for what they deliver to you, but you are also paying to get exposure to a wider creative community that you would normally not really have access to. So, for example, when I release my new singles, Isabella will share that on her social media, because obviously she has something to talk about. Hey, I did the artwork for this new song, go check it out. And she always gets lots of comments and reactions on social media from people that are people in the creative community, right? So her colleagues, or people that she went to college with, or her friends, or people from courses that she goes on, because she's always going to new courses in order to up her skills, right? So these kinds of people are on average more open to new music and new artists than the average person. And what I think about is how in the UK, for example, quite a few big bands got started at art college, for example Radiohead and Blur. And I think one of the reasons for this is because these bands are at art college surrounded by people who are open to new art, open to new music, but are not musicians themselves, right? And so I think when I work with a real artist, they then share that amongst their friends and colleagues and people they know, who are all really open to new movies, new artwork, and new music. So it's a great way to expand your reach, as it were. Now, the final reason I think is the most important one, and that is that it creates more opportunities to tell stories around your music. Because when you release a piece of artwork, instead of saying, oh, I just created it with Midjourney or something like that, right? You can say, I worked with this artist and we had this conversation about the aesthetic that I was thinking about for this piece of music, and you can talk with the artist about what their reaction was. Isabella will listen to my music over and over while she's doing the artwork, and she gets an impression from it, and she reacts to it, and then she filters that through her own artistry. So it's a really cool way to create more stories around your music, and I think that's something that is not really appreciated nowadays, where you can just knock something up on with AI or something like that, and then what kind of story can you tell about that? Obviously you can do artwork yourself if you feel capable of that, and that is also an opportunity to talk about about the story of how you created that artwork. But yeah, the benefit of working with somebody else is that you are then bringing together two different worlds, two different communities. You are extending your reach and getting the opportunity to tell more stories about how two different artists are coming together to create something. So anyway, those are the reasons why I think it's a great idea to work with real artists. Go check out that interview with Isabella, because we talk about the practicalities of finding someone to work with and how you approach them and what kind of things the graphic artist needs to know about in order to be able to work with you. And it's the first part of the interview. There will be several other parts of it uploaded over the coming weeks, but yeah, go check that out and let me know what you think of it. If you create your own artwork, or you hire somebody in, or you use AI, let me know in the comments below. I'm interested to know about your perspective, and it's always interesting to find out what other people are doing and whether they see that benefit in working with other artists, or whether they just prefer to do it themselves or to use AI. Anyway, just let me know in the comments. I'm always interested to hear other perspectives.